Hello everyone and welcome in. Welcome. My name is Sam Liebel. I'm the author of Aethel the Bastard. Aethel the Bastard is a fantasy novel, and it is the story of the illegitimate son of a powerful duke who has to fight against enemies inside and out to protect the country that he loves from enemies, while guarding a secret so dark it would destroy everything that he loves. Aethel the Bastard is available for free on Substack. Find all the information in my bio. Today I'm going to be talking to welcome Hannah, welcome Joey Oma, welcome Danny the Brookle. You guys are all welcome. Thank you. Today we're going to be talking, we're not going to be doing battles today. Today we're going to be talking to my friends and colleagues, the brothers Kryn, who are also right here on TikTok. If you can, go ahead and give them a follow. Angela E., welcome. Garcia, welcome. I see you. I see everybody, and everyone is welcome, and I'll try to follow up with people as I can. But remember, I am going to, we're going to be simulcasting on Substack. Do you guys know what Substack is? We're going to be simulcasting today. So that means if you're on this pod, on this TV show, this broadcast, you're going to be simulcast onto a completely different social media platform. So let's be very clear about that, okay? Welcome, Brian. I see you. So for one more time, I'm going to say it because I'm not going to repeat myself on this one. I want to set expectations very, very clearly. What we're looking at is about an hour-long live, okay, on the topic of fantasy. I see you, Mike, with my guest, the brothers Kryn, period. So now, if that is something that interests you, you are more than welcome to stay. If you're looking for battles and some of the other fun stuff that I do, we're not going to have those today. I will take questions as best I can. If you have questions for me, a fantasy author on Substack, or my colleagues and very successful fantasy authors, brothers Kryn on Substack, start thinking about it and put it in the chat. Because once we go live streaming on 2 phones, it's going to be tough for me to keep up because I'm going to have to manage and moderate 2 different classes or 2 different, lives. So just keep that in mind. Be patient if you don't mind. But I think we're going to be able to deliver a lot of value for your guys. Feel free to introduce yourselves. I will make sure that I will do my best to make sure that you are heard on both platforms. And toward the end of it, we will even take call-ins. If you would like to, thank you, Hannah. Thank you. If you would like to be called in and ask questions of either of us, you are more than welcome to do that. And I hope that you do. Hello, Michelle Saran. Who is this live for? Who is it for? Fantasy authors, right? Sci-fi authors. Genre fiction authors. Hello, Michael, Serrano, Johnny. I see you. Just a guy being. I see you. Steve, I see you. Welcome in. We're going to have a fantasy. Gunkle John. Some of these names. The Substack people are not going to know what's in them. Tanya. David Cunningham. Bongia, also to our international audience. Hardy Bongia. We got some nice crepuscular rays coming in. That may be distracting. I bet you. Okay. Positive vibes only. If you cannot say anything nice, please keep it to yourself. And I bet, what's up, bro? Hey, Steve. I see you, Steve. Please, positive vibes only. I will block and kick out people who are unruly. I've done it before, and I will do it again. But this is a nice place. We're nice here. And so am I. So that's all I'll say about that. Welcome in, Tristan. Gifter level 15. It's pretty dope. They don't just hand those out, All right, let's see where we're at with Brothers Kryn. Be thinking about questions. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Be thinking about questions that you want answered from working fantasy and sci-fi authors. That's who our guest is going to be. Are you an author? Are you a reader? Are you interested in how the business of writing works? Would you like to write fantasy professionally? Do you write fantasy professionally? Are you a successful author? I want to know. Please, come and join us. Educate me. Because I'm starting out. If you are starting out, you are more than welcome. And as are the veterans. Maybe you probably have something to teach us. Steve, thank you. Steve, everybody, Nate Being, hello. Thank you, everyone. Just bear with me. We're going to go live on Substack. Actually, we're going to wait a few minutes. Substack is an online social media app. Thank you so much, Steve. What's up? What's your story, Steve? Fisherman USA, I see you. Do you have a question or something like that you're thinking about asking? I'd love to have it so I can start out with it. But otherwise, we're going to start out with, unless the brothers Crin want to do something different, what we're going to do is start off talking about their recent Substack article on book covers. Nope, not at all. Well, you are still welcome to be here. Thank you for joining, Steve. Welcome in. You can say what you want as long as it's not hateful. I mean, say anything you want. You can heckle. I'll take it. Hey, you know what hecklers are? They're in your chat room. Or your thing, you know what I'm saying? Ricky Rojas, bienvenuto. ¿Cómo vai? Marky, bienvenuto. Bom dia. Angel Black. Marty with the bunny and the carrot. I see you. Greetings from Belize. Muchas gracias por coming here. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Oh, that's fine. I think, and again, be patient with me because I will try to, I'm going to be keeping an eye on not one, but two different chats. We're simulcasting on two different platforms, right? So, you love well, at least that makes one of us. But I'm going to go ahead and start to think about getting that live set up. And I can give you kind of an idea of what Substack is like, you know. Does anyone know what Substack is? It's for writers. It's a social media network for writers. And it's also a publishing platform. So you can see we've got our countdown here, right? This is our live. This is AFL the Bastard. This is my publication right here. Is this interesting at all? Ranting for Democ. I see you. Welcome in. Hang tight, guys. Hang tight, Steve. Bear with me. I'm still here. All right. All right. Hang tight, guys.
Hello.
Hello, Brothers Crin.
How are you?
I am doing well. How are you, sir?
Can't complain. No one would listen.
I hope you and yours are doing well.
It's been a tiring day. Mais c'est la vie. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire?
Now, before you continue, I apologize. Real quick. Now, we are not yet live on Substack. We are live on Book Talk. So,
no.
So please be aware before, help me not put my foot into my mouth. So we've got one person. I was getting the chat warmed up over here in Book Talk, but we may have a little bit of an audience here. I'm starting to make a little bit of a beachhead, a kind of foothold in Book Talk, and it's been pretty exciting. But I do hope you and yours are all right. We don't have to dive into that if you would not like to.
No, it's just been the weather. It's been terrible. Raining on and off, and the dog's been a little depressed. So that brings down the mood, and we just finally got his mood up, where he's finally a little more cheerful, but needy. But anyways, I thought I was making progress. I'm at 41 followers, I think, or something on Book Talk, so that's pretty cool to me.
That's really cool. Are you ready to go live on Substack?
Sure.
You sure? Okay. Here, so we'll go live here. All right. I'll let you know when we have our first guest. I've become, guys, over here on Book Talk, I've become something of a live expert. Hey, I see you, Pandamac. I see you, Corey. I see you. You will hear me doing this. I am going to tone this down when our first guests start arriving and our discussion really starts. But Joe, if I may, is a veteran of the streaming world, and he knows all about that. So he knows all.
Streaming, though, if I'm honest, is something which.
And you, if you don't mind, can you, however you'd like to do it is up to you. However your streaming style works, but I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna welcome people into. I've noticed that when I welcome people into the chat on Book Talk, okay.
Yeah, it's okay. But streaming is something which I always suck a breath in, and I go. But my favorite streams are generally, for the most part, the writing streams. It's just me listening to classic music, relaxing and writing and whatnot. That's something I'd like to do on TikTok, but you need 1,000 followers or something over there for that. Or currently I'm doing it on Twitter, but every few weeks when I can remember to do it.
Twitter Live is not the best. I see you, Barry Zimmerman. I see you, Bren. I see you guys. I would love to host you guys whenever you want. I go live every single day on TikTok for Book Talk. Whenever you would like, we can help you get to those 1,000 subscribers, right, guys? Yeah. Now, I don't know if we'll have time to show off Substack, but hey, Women Scorn. We got Women Scorn on the line. Hell hath no fury like a women scorn.
Yeah.
The one thing I love about Book Talk, and I'll be quiet about it, but thank you guys, is the vibrancy and the international community. I'm saying international from the American perspective. We Americans do not get as much exposure as I think that we should. Oh, look! Oh, my goodness! Do you hear that over there? Did you hear the cha-ching?
No. Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Well, you can't see it on Substack, but I just had Women Scorn buy me an octopus that floated right above my head. Tamara, okay, I'm sorry. Tamara Curvo wants to co-host. She wants to call in. We're not taking call-ins right now, guys. We may take call-ins later on. Joe, please go ahead. I'm talking too much.
I'm going to say Austin Boucher is here. He's from Substack. He's someone I know quite well.
Well, I want to say, too, real quick, Brothers Crin are working and successful fantasy authors based out of Canada. Thank you, Women Scorn. I am grateful for all of what you do. Thank you, God, so much. But they are working, and real quick, I will get back to thanking you in 1 second, Women Scorn. But Brothers Crin are working and successful. Now, everybody get relaxed, because here, I don't know if you can see this, Brothers Crin and TikTok people, but this is kind of a cool view.
Yeah. How? I'm tech illiterate, so.
Right. No, you are a purist. So, just real quick, guys, this is Joe from Brothers Crin down here. And up here, this would be my screen, but this is Substack Live. It's not quite as built. TikTok Live is rock solid. See, I even dropped my phone, and it's still trucking. So, Book Talk Live is actually pretty rock solid. Yeah, Substack is still in the beta phase, but real quick, thank you, Women Scorn. You just gave me so many gifts, and I'm extremely grateful for everything that you do and your support. Thank you. It's been heartwarming to be welcomed into the Book Talk community, and I would like to welcome in Brothers Crin, working fantasy authors who write several things, including Brotherhood of the Gem and Chute de Naissance, which I am mispronouncing, but they also, the work that I know them best for, and the work that I would argue, and Brothers Crin are contrarians to the core, and they would will find something to argue with about everything. Thank you, Women Scorn. Muito obrigado. But they are definitely known on Substack for their articles that have to do with the culture of fantasy fiction. Most recently, they kicked things off, but they had and as I introduced myself on the beginning of the call, I'm Sam Label, the author of AFL the Bastard. You can find everything in my link on my bio. But Brothers Crin are, that's what I know them best for, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Joe, if he can introduce, I know Substack knows him well, and the Brothers Crin's work, but maybe Book Talk may not know you, and we're going to get them started on Book Talk. So, Brothers Crin, can you go ahead and maybe improve upon my no doubt flawed introduction?
No, it's pretty good. I write Brotherhood of the Gemstone.
I'm sorry. Brotherhood of the Gemstone, my mistake. Brotherhood of the Gemstone is the work.
Didn't you say that?
I said Brotherhood of the Gem. It is Brotherhood of It is Brotherhood of the Gemstone. Thank you, Women Scorn. I will be following up after the live is over. Thank you.
Okay, so I didn't catch that. But that's one of the stories. Also, which is the myth of King George from England, with the knight who slays a dragon, because why not? And there's...
The Brothers Crin know about as much as there is to know about dragons. Welcome, Abe. We've got our Canadians in the house.
Ooh, Fredo McBoxhead has joined. I know him. He's quite nice.
No, I'm talking about Book Talk.
Also...
I'm talking about Book Talk. Our Canadians. The Canadians have entered the chat. They say hello.
La victoire d'abord.
La victoire d'amon. I don't think they're Quebecois or Quebecois. He says, hello there, eh?
Hey there, eh?
Hey there, eh, you hoser? I've been learning some new words.
Moses, hoser. We also write these days the Sword of the Western Seas, which is kind of a deliberate bastardization of the King Arthur story. Because why not just gobble it up and spit it out in a completely different form and whatnot? And there's a bunch of other stories. We're currently back to work on Orkolot, the vampire story.
Vampires, guys. Orkolot. Yep. Hey, Zuri.
Oh, yeah, that'd probably be how you pronounce it. Orkolot.
No, I always lean into what I think they might sound like, because Brothers Crin are very fastidious. They pay attention to detail very well.
Sometimes. It's our love
All
letter
the
to
time.
Bram Stoker.
All the time.
It's our love letter to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. A classic, right, guys? Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I still think about it. I love that novel. Read it almost every year.
Would it be okay to talk about this covers article, or have you guys already moved on to something else? These guys publish, I think, I don't want to get you into trouble, or get you into a commitment, but almost once a day?
Yeah, about once a day. Yeah.
Yeah, once a day, guys. That's it on Substack. Now on TikTok, you might be publishing 3 times a day, but those are simple, not simple, but those are brief snippets. When you post on Substack, you know, that's a pretty significant thing. I don't post every day. Let's just say that.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that, and it's under policy. With Dan and I, it's just we got into the habit of posting like once a day, and it's just you build up the habit and you can't get out of it after a while. But more and more, I just like analyzing literature and books I'm reading, like Dracula and whatnot, and just, you know, grabbing quotes and doing like annotations. That's the funnest thing to do. But the trouble is I get wrapped up in other cultural stuff and philosophy stuff, and which distracts me from my main passion on Substack my main passion that's not web novels. But yeah,
wait, what's your main passion? What is your main passion?
The web novels and the book annotations.
The web novels and the book annotations are the Brothers Crin. That's what I know this gets tedious, but I want to make sure everyone feels included. We're simulcasting on Book Talk, guys. Substack people, you're now live on Book Talk or TikTok Live.
Oh, poor people on Substack.
Poor people on Book Talk. We don't need to get into this. I don't want to get Brothers Crin in trouble, but I have my grievances with Substack, and there's a reason why I'm not spending really I'm spending as little time as I can over there, but we don't need to get into that.
Okay.
It's not anything. It's just, you know, I don't find readers there. I don't, for my fiction, my fantasy fiction, I find readers elsewhere. And I've always suspected that, and it's pretty obvious now.
Well, one place to go might be Royal Road.
Yes. Right now, my main focus is, I've not been able to make as I've been candid with you guys about, I've not been able to really make a serial novel work as quickly as I need it to. So that's an update on my end. What I'm doing now is compiling the current material that I have with a really great editor that I met on Substack. Substack is a good place to network with other writers and authors, I will say that. But I'm working with an editor that I'm really hopeful about, and we'll be compiling and putting on Kindle and doing that whole thing. For AFL the Bastard.
I'll need to download a copy then.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at different ways of marketing it and doing it, and I'd love to have you guys, your wise counsel, at various points.
Okay. I tend to use Draft to Digital and whatnot, because that way I can get it in print and Kindle.
But I bet that's really, really pricey, right?
No money involved with putting it up on Draft to Digital.
So, wait, hold on. Sorry. Let me just back up, because this is something I personally am interested in. We don't need to dwell on this, but there is a website where you can publish a book. And
it'll publish it onto Amazon from there.
Okay, we're going to have to do another segment on that. I'm not committing Brothers Crin to that. I'd love to have them, but I'm not committing them to that. But that's something I'm going to at least need to look into and report back to you guys on Book Talk.
Well, I'll just send you the link there, or make a comment in the notes section and just say, use this, guys, and tag you. I'll just do that. But as for the book cover article, it was fun. I got a bunch of people who just sent me their book covers.
That's pretty cool, because I only saw 2 in the article.
Yeah, I only did 2. One was a Vaughn. He's a nice guy. And I was candid because this is the sort of book, like looking at the dark blue and whatnot, it looks great, but I wouldn't read this. It looks sci-fi to me, and I'm not a sci-fi guy.
Before I forget, on the topic of sci-fi, there's somebody that I met on one of my lives, my late night lives. You guys know my marathon late night lives. TikTok blows up in all of the hours that the United States is not. So, you know what I mean, right? Like, I have to, it is not for the faint of heart. You have to get up at like 3. You have to get up at like 2 in the morning and kind of hustle for a few hours, but then you can kind of sleep. It's working some strange hours. Sorry, Hazel Eyes. We will not be taking calls at this time. I apologize. All are welcome in the chat, but we are not taking current dial-in calls. We may take them later. But I met a guy whose whole name was Vader, Darth Vader. And I connected him with you. I hope it's okay. I gave him your username on TikTok because he is looking for someone to collaborate with or wants to talk to someone about Knights of the Old Republic. I believe that's a video game that you like a lot.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for some name having to do with Anakin Skywalker and or Darth Vader. It's like Vader 05 or something. Be on the lookout. We had him on the show. He was cool and is not a troll or anything. And I would recommend following up with him and potentially having a good connection there.
Send me the link to him. Like I'd love to get together with him.
Oh, I gave him yours, but I don't know if I told him to reach out to you proactively.
Back to my TikTok in a while.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I keep trying. I try to promote Brothers Crin TikTok, but they don't ever show up.
It's just everything is so busy these days, and I'm always writing the Western Keys these days. All my time into that damn story. Job hunting.
Well, I've started writing again, so nothing is going bad for me. I've started writing again on chapter 8, so that's really all I care about. Sorry, don't mean to brag, but I've been struggling with that book talk.
Right. You have to brag. On you.
Hello, an American writer and essayist. I'm a fan, by the way, American writer and essayist. I'm a fan of yours, American writer and essayist. Lunar Butter, hello. I apologize. We were talking about newer publishing methods for traditional fantasy.
Yeah. It's I've got a bunch of people who's
you see, guys, Substack, while you're doing that, Brothers Crin, for our TikTok audience, Substack lives are a little bit more of a work in progress. However, they are much easier to manage on the fly. I'm literally, as you can tell, shakily holding this phone, but we are simulcasting. Anyway, I don't know if you're ready yet, Brothers Crin, but if you are, please proceed.
All right. But yeah, like just the oh wait. I can't see the comments. I'm gonna go into the live with my computer because I can't see a damn thing on my phone.
No problem. The phone is hard to read. Thank you, Fredo McBoxhead. Thank you for the subscription. Remember, the other thing that Substack makes really easy, while you're doing that, Joe, I'll just go ahead and manage.
Fredo. No, I can now see the comments. They just appeared on my phone. Fredo just subscribe to us, Sam.
Yes.
Hey.
Thank you, Fredo.
But as to thanks, Sam. Glad you good. And the prodigal has joined. But these days, I actually saw. I was about to.
I'm listening. I got you. I'm listening. I'm neurodivergent enough. I don't know if that's a clinical designation yet, but I'm neurodivergent enough to be able to follow two threads, if not anything else. Go ahead.
I'm too old school for things. I'm too old. Everything must be an older term, or I don't accept it.
Hey, but, Sarah Caitlin. Hey, Malik. Hey, how are you guys? We're talking with Brothers Crin, working fantasy authors out of Canada.
Sam.
Sorry, go ahead.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Could you repeat that?
Testing.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. It's not a Substack Live, guys, as you know, until something goes wrong. In my experience.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I love everything about Substack except for the chat thing, which always seems like I'm going out of my way to check, which people are very patient with me on that one.
I am not a fan of the mobile apps. I know that you guys use the desktop apps, and I need to do that more, but the Substack mobile apps are garbage. That's my opinion. Personal opinion does not have anything to do with anyone else on this call.
Yeah, well, I kind of agree. I've been using the mobile app a little more, but between going to work and whatnot, but it's like, I still don't like it. If I could just carry my computer with me and just crack that open and reply to people, it'd be better, but not really something you can bring to a site. So,
no.
But c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. Hello, Bernie. Bernard.
But as for the cover thing, it got me, like, as I was typing, because my brain always works like on autopilot when I'm writing. And the thing is, like, I don't even sometimes realize when I'm writing until it's done. But
I would say that's probably a good thing. Probably indicates that you're onto something.
Probably, I guess. But the cover thing got me thinking, like, each cover has its own energy. And this is something I don't like about a lot of trad pub these days, is that the style colors. I'm a bit of the 80s, 90s German fantasy covers, which look like these dark, jagged, the Dragon Bone chair, like that thing looks freaking awesome with the 90s German cover. That's the sort of thing every fantasy book should have. Just give it to the Germans, let them figure it out, let them do the art, and the Germans will produce for you a best-selling cover.
Give it to the Germans. Give it to the Germans. They will do it better than anyone. Any excuse to trot out my German accent, I do.
Yes. Them or the Japanese are probably the masters at just book covers.
Okay. The German masters. Yeah. Very interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. They're very good at book covers. But Americans were fantastic at it in the 80s and 90s. But I don't know what happened with the trad pub. They just decided to I don't know, some brain-eating creatures showed up and just devoured their brains and left them.
I have to say, I agree. I have to say, I don't like any of the covers that are coming out these days. They're boring.
But you see, this is why, like, a lot of indie authors excite me, because, like, you look at Arthur Powell's book cover that he sent me, like, for the article, I think it was the first one, with all the red, and that looks pretty old, like a 1930s hat or something.
I love the vibrant colors.
Yeah, it looked beautiful. And
I have to say, like, Roblox Kid _2025, the OG, holding it down. You are welcome, as are everybody else that I missed. I apologize. Misty Lachey, Pacha, Squire Jayford, and everybody. But Roblox Kid, thank you. Roblox Kid was our champ MVP on the live last night. So thank you. Go ahead. We're talking book covers with Brothers Crin, Canadian authors out of Canada. Needed to have thought that through. Canadian fantasy authors.
And son of a gun, I missed someone for Sword and Saturday. But
Sword and Saturday is one of the best ways to consume fantasy fiction out there. It's hosted on Substack and probably a bunch of other platforms that I'm not on, but follow up with Brothers Crin to learn more about how you might be able to get your story featured in the very popular Sword and Sorcery series on Substack.
I need to move it to Twitter and any other sites I'm on, but I just...
Why? Blue Sky, baby. Not Twitter.
But I just don't know. It's just, like between the stuff with my sister today, and then there's also my mom's boyfriend, well, common law husband, really. He ended up getting himself a new dog. So, of course, I had to help out with that. Then I had to, between work, help my sister out. And then there's also having to prep for a crowdfund. And then there's probably a road trip next week with my sister, because I might as well spend more time with her after what's happened. And because her cat died. And
personal life doesn't stop just because you write fantasy, folks.
No, sadly not. And the family just got done gushing over the new puppy, so new life, death, it all comes together. And so as for the book cover thing, it's it was interesting. Like I said, Vaughn's cover, I could look at it and I thought, Chris would like this. My oldest brother, he'd like it. And his friend Robert. I know a bunch of people who love this book cover. But what stood out to me was the red one, Arthur Powell's, which was just, I loved it. I love that sort of art these days. I don't know why. I didn't used to, but I love it now.
And you can see all these guys on Book Talk. You can see all these beautiful covers on Substack. Brothers Crin. I will follow up with the links. Yeah, it is interesting, Roblox Kid. It is interesting. You should check it out.
But yeah, I'm thinking of doing more essays on that stuff, as well as actual paintings, because the trouble is, no one ever covers art like that. You know what I mean? No one writes about paintings and...
Hang on, this is important, Brothers Crin. I apologize. Substack is very simply to be found at substack.com. Substack. substack.com. Sorry, I wanted to make sure people knew where to find it, just because there were some questions about it.
Yeah.
See, we're doing the yeoman's work. I don't know if you know this phrase, but the yeoman's work, the real work of bringing people to Substack, and they won't even answer one of my support tickets. That is neither here nor there. You guys are always welcome. Thank you.
I don't know the phrase yeoman's work.
Well, yeoman is a freeholding farmer. Thomas Jefferson imagined an America of yeoman farmers, independent farmers who owned a plot of land that was self-sufficient and turned a profit, but was not, a factory, quote unquote, farm, an industrial, sort of a proto-industrialized farm. Thomas Jefferson, thought that excessive concentrations of wealth, even in farms, were to be avoided. I went through I started out with Thomas Jefferson because, in my opinion, Americans have no religion. Their religion is themselves. Their religion is America. It's a civic religion, but it is a religion, I would argue, where our deities, our prophets, are George Washington, everyone from George Washington to Gouverneur Morris, one of my favorite founding fathers. Thomas Jefferson, I started out liking, as all Americans do. Then I started disliking him, as all liberals eventually do. And now I don't really know how I feel about Thomas Jefferson. I don't really know, but it's not as bad as it once was. Yes, Americans are heavily Christian Alucard. Christian. Personal opinion here, I don't know how Christ-like they are.
Well, that is something that depends.
Yes, indeed it does. Indeed it does.
Now, I've met Americans who match your description. I have. Can't lie. I've worked for one. It was hell. But on the other hand, I have met some truly Christian, such as Isaac, as Therese. I will always admire that woman.
Can you repeat the name?
Therese Judina. I don't know how to pronounce it otherwise. Therese, she writes.
Sorry about that. This was Therese Judea for us non-Francophiles. Therese Judea. Yeah.
There's Charlotte Pendragon. She's...
Oh, Brothers Crin. Charlotte Pendragon. They're going to make me do this every time. Charlotte Pendragon.
Sorry.
Hey, McKenna Grace.
Hey, McKenna. Hey, Comfy and the Chaos.
We're simulcasting on Book Talk, so it's a little bit crazy.
That is true. I get the type of peeps you're talking about, the money guys, etc. Yeah. And I've been thinking about this because I've noticed there's a lot of comedians. Something which I think it's like an illness that's spread across the globe.
Okay.
That's linked to capitalistic faith. You used the word faith. It is religion in a lot of ways. And it's something which has like a disease across the planet. And it's very materialistic in nature. When, well, you know me, I like...
Who was it? And if I look like I'm trying to do a Zoolander male model look, it's because I'm holding my phone up for the reception, guys. Cut me some slack here. Who was it? I need to remember who was it who said that Las Vegas, the gambling capital of the world, was the most honest city in America. I thought that was pretty funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never would have said that.
I can't say I disagree with him. Fatty foods, rampant sexuality, and rigged games. The American way.
Okay.
That's my opinion. That's Sam's opinion, the American.
I don't know what to make of it. I'm not going to attack it. Well, you know me, I need to process the information.
Yeah.
Come to a conclusion. I'm a little slow like that. Well, I think it shows all up front, at least the worst of it. Yeah. Well, if you think about it, I would argue the very worst of Canada can be found in Toronto and Ottawa. Although I can't say that all people in those cities are terrible. My best friend, she's in with my nephew and niece. Well, I call them my nephew and niece, but you know, like they're not related. But on the other hand, you find La Ville de Quebec, the city of Quebec, has the best parts of Canada.
Highlight says technically Las Vegas is the most honest, LOL, because they're honest about what they represent. That's what I'm saying. Technically Las Vegas is the most honest because they are honest about how transactional Americans, and I would argue human beings, can be. How transactional we make it all.
Yeah, Fredo has a good point. He's also doing the analysis thing on American society. These are a lot of ideas and things I've not thought too deeply on, except in my darkest moments. Because, not gonna lie, the thing with, like I said, I've met some Americans whom it's like greed is the only faith they have. But I've also met some whom, they lay on the track for me. So it's one of those things where, on the other hand, anyways, as far as, I think stereotypical, yes, but there's so many small communities that are real and not as messed up as Las Vegas. Yeah, I hope so. Well, I've been to Phoenix,
and I stand by my point. I'll take all comers.
Okay, fair. I've been to Phoenix, and I thought Phoenix was a wonderful city. Except for the heat. I hated the heat. I hated it.
I bet.
But, all the airport staff were nice, except for the Canadian staff there. And...
Makes sense.
Then there was... Yeah, and then there was... But the American staff there were polite, kind, and whatnot. And I even got to meet someone who grew up in a ghetto in Phoenix. And he told me stories, and it was interesting. He was a really nice guy and whatnot. And then there was... meeting Don Bluth, who's just honestly the coolest guy that America's ever bred. He's the coolest American there will ever be. And there's something that I think about that I'm kind of sad we don't have anymore. Animation. But,
Brothers Crin are big on animation, guys. If you like to read essays with a rigorous kind of critical eye, I would recommend Brothers Crin within a heartbeat.
But that said, yeah, as far as book covers go, a lot of the art you've got is pretty damn good, I will admit.
Oh! Did I get the Brothers Crin to admit that I did something good?
Yeah, you did quite good.
My covers are not the norm, guys, on Substack. They are not the norm. They are... Does that view that I give you guys of both phones facing one another, does that make anyone nauseous? Does that make you nauseous, Joe?
Not really.
It's cool because it allows our guests on TikTok to see you, which would be good. And it's also, I think, kind of a cool view, But we're kind of making our own networking simulcast, but 2 phones are required, unfortunately. Anyway, go ahead. My book covers are not... I love to use AI in my creative process, both, and in my marketing, automation. I'm able to do the work of 10 men. Or 10 women, whatever. And damn it, I get 1 mulligan per live, so I'm going to take that one. I've assigned myself 1 mulligan, 1 take back per live, so that'll be mine, that weird stumble over. Anyway, mine are an homage to serial novels of the past, and they are actually optimized not to print standards, but to digital standards, and they are completely text-based using open source fonts and color palettes and Canva. So I'm very proud of them, in particular about them, and they are completely text-based. Yeah, so they're not the usual fare. I don't know if they would qualify as covers according to your criteria, but they are what will be on the cover of all versions of AFL the Bastard in some form or another.
I wish I could figure out how to do art. We'll have to...
It's Canva, baby. It's Canva, baby. Canva.
I'll never figure Canva out.
Oh, Canva can... I'm going to do a series on Canva because that's how crucial it is to my marketing.
Now, McKenna has a great comment. You can't lump everyone together. Texans are very different from Colorado folk. You can even say North Texan folk are different from South Texas.
In America, how you lump everyone together are elections. That's how people get lumped in together. So, yes, are people, each and every one of them, unique individuals? Yes. This is clear. We know this. However, elections decide in democracies what the will is of the people, because there's no better way to do it, in my opinion. Now,
so... Better of a monarchy.
Yeah, they love monarchs, but they're Canadians. What are you going to do? Art is subjective, so book covers being art are automatically good based on the beholder. Highlight, I have to push back against you there. I believe that there is good art and bad art. I'm sorry if that's contentious, but now that's not some standard that I can set, but I do believe that maybe it's ineffable, meaning it cannot be put into words, but I do believe there is some kind of consensus that the universe gives.
Alucard has commented that he made his cover of Canva. Interesting.
Canva is the way to go. If I may, real quick, I'll show both sides of this, and this is the only time I'll do this because it will take a minute. While I'm doing this, Joe, talk about your monarchy, Stuarts, and everything. Your Stuart dynasty.
I don't feel like it.
All right. Well, whichever dynasty.
This time, I'm kind of worn out on politics.
All right. Well, I'm excited to get into it with you at some point now that Lent is over. But we don't have to.
Boring. It's just politics is something that I find it more and more as I get older, and it how do I put it? Everybody gets dumber because of it, but my perspective is that of I guess you could say, someone who'd be kind of like a nationalist, monarchist, in that I believe that we're better under a king because the king is bound to the land, bound to the people. So he has to care for his position because he's not going to have a successor in 10 years. It's going to be him. And he's going to make sure he manages his position with loving care.
So unless he dies.
Yeah. Then he has to pass it down to his son. But he has to make sure he passes it down intact.
All right, Book Talk just had an opportunity to see what Canva looks like and what the what is able to be produced with it. While you're talking, Joe, I'm going to show the people on Substack what Canva is and what can be produced with it. Please continue.
Yeah, Alucard just debated me. I think
politics, McKenna. I know we're just meeting, but Aristotle said that man is by nature the political animal, and I like to think he was including women in that too. So I feel that we are by nature the political animal. And remember, polis comes from the affairs of the public. It does not have anything to do originally with liberal conservative. We are the people who handle our affairs in public together. So I love the way this looks. This is my Instagram. These are what my covers look like for Substack, and I'll quick get off of this, but I love the way this looks. I think this is a very distinguished look, and I like that it's standardized across social media, but this would be the cover for AFL the Bastard, right there, all made on Canva within 5 minutes. And this also, if I may, this is a little bit unfair, but you can go in here. You have the effect of reading the first few pages. So, is it opening up a book? No. It's not even opening up but what it is a form of reading that people can kind of slip into and have a little bit of escapism to, is my opinion. Now, Joe, while you take it over, I'll show, I want to be ecumenical, I want to be fair. So I will show our people real quick what that is. But go ahead, how that book part works, because that's an important part of it to me.
Okay. Well, I only meant that now I'm differentiating kings from Roman emperors. A king has a limit for the most part. Doing what he can't due to institutions and laws and whatnot. He's not. And so with a bad king, yeah, he can really screw it up. He cannot collapse the nation for the most part, unless he really screws up. But I find that with kings, you got a concept of mediocrity for good, for great, but with democracy, you're voting for nothing but the sludge humanity can produce. And you are
Hey, Uncle John.
It is cutting off your face to spite, cutting off your nose to spite your face, and you are defending your nation out of spite against your nation. And this is how it seems to me more and more. And I just find it's just more and more a process of continued demoralization. And just like, it works on a municipal level, but not on a federal level. And
can we get back to the part about the fact that you have no idea who the successor is going to be, and the son could be an asshole?
Fair. But I think we have to remember, what kind of monarchy? Is it primogenitorial or is it electoral? If it's an elected monarchy, it might not be the son. It might be the best possible man for the job.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay.
But it's primogenitorial. Remember, the Capetier family for several centuries had really good monarchs, generation after generation.
Again with the Capetier. Zut alors! Sorry.
Okay, fine. I'll actually use another example. Let me see. You've got the dynasties that ruled over, Spain after the Reconquista.
Por mis español hablantes, las dinastías que regían de España y Portugal, and Portugal too, maybe? Or no, just Spain?
I don't know. I'm joking.
I have learned both rudimentary. I've learned rudimentary Portuguese from TikTok battles, and I'm not ashamed of it. I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful system that binds connection and is great, but has not been good for my pocketbook. That said, I've also taken Spanish in school, but there are many Spanish speakers on there. I love my Brazilian and South American audience. You guys are mi gente. You guys are my people. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigado.
Okay. I'll be honest, I kind of like trying to appeal to the audience that are there in Spain. Because the Spanish are an interesting, fascinating plot.
You guys might be hearing, the Spaniards may be hearing from Brothers Crin soon.
I don't know. I like them because, the Reconquista was an interesting period in history.
Unfamiliar.
Well, although it is a series of disasters after another, because the Spanish kings were near unstoppable and kept getting the upper hand until they would just keel over, divide all their lands between their sons, and their sons would start killing each other.
Not great.
No, not when you're trying to push the Muslims out of Spain, and you keep just ceding land because you're just infighting every generation. It's like,
one bad deed does not lead to another.
Mm-hmm. Now that's a case where, in some cases, you got some great monarchs, but then you got some really bad ones. But I generally think this is a more stable system than democracy. But democracy always beats monarchy, in my opinion.
And I think that we will learn, I will be dead, but we will learn that democracy is the most stabilizing force in government. But it's Brothers Crin time now.
Oh no! By speaking of the devil, we've attracted her. Mercedes de Santiago has joined us.
Buenos días, Mercedes. Yo aprendo español en TikTok. Buenos noches. Sorry.
Moi, je vais essayer d'apprendre l'espagnol. I'm not even going to try learning Spanish because it's just a butchered version of French.
Oh, no!
Okay,
we're live on Brothers Crin are joking.
My sense of humor is terrible. Just to warn people.
It's not terrible. It's very nice.
But Mercedes knows. She knows. We always go back and forth because she keeps telling me Spain is better, and I keep saying France is better. So, old rivalry.
Would you be open to taking any questions, should we have them, Brothers Crin, on Book Talk?
Oh, wait. McKenna has just commented. They're all butchered versions of Latin. Just saying.
They're vulgar. They're the vulgar languages. The Vulgates.
Exactly. Yeah, Moses Tabernacle, Moses Put. On est tous pas mal vulgaires ici.
I felt in your general direction.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is a quote from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which Brothers Quinn are probably too cool to have seen, but I love.
It's a great documentary on French humor and how we're better than everyone, and we fart in everyone's direction.
Okay.
But anyways, McKenna, thank you. That's a great joke.
What did McKenna say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, love that film. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, book talk. I'm gonna have to trust you, Joe, to handle any questions that pop up on Substack. But book talk. Now is the time to start thinking about your questions and putting them into the chat if you have them. We may not get any, but I want to put that out there. We will have to end at... I have a new live coming up with Colin Wood right after this one. Back-to-back Sam lives on Substack, but not on Book Talk. I'm sorry, Book Talk. But I can't do this twice. It's low-key kind of tiring. It's a little bit tiring. But... I will be live on Substack, and everyone's welcome to join me. The conversation will shift into current events and politics, but it will not get divisive. It's going to be pretty tame for one of my polemical political posts, or lives, as it were. So we will be ending right at, if it's, I don't want to catch anyone off guard. So thank you in advance, everyone, for joining on both platforms, but we will be ending sharp at 8 p.m. Eastern. Or for my international audience, 20 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
Or 2,000 hours, I believe.
Wow.
Maybe. 20,000. 2,000? No, never mind. Questions. Can you guys save me from myself, Book Talk? Ask me questions, please. All right. Okay. Well, if any come in, I will go ahead and power through. And bring them up. But anything closing from Brothers Crin? So maybe, we've covered a lot of ground. We've gone at a frenetic pace, but I'm just trying to get more lives out there because every time I do a live on either platform, I pick up some subscribers and I love my subscribers. That's really honestly the reason I do all of this. So I appreciate everybody, including Brothers Crin, for joining us and being patient with us. Thank you, JR. Welcome in. We're simulcast. So I'm going to turn it over comfortably and smoothly to Brothers Crin, maybe to give us kind of a few minutes of talk about whatever they would like to.
I've not done any lives lately. I should. I've not done any in a few weeks. I've been meaning to, but life's just been barreling right through me. I'd probably do more if I could just do it on the computer.
Computers aren't all bad, folks. AI is not the devil. It's a machine. It's a command prompt that's just better, but neither here nor there.
Brando says, what was the distribution platform you use? You mentioned it does both print and digital. Yeah. That would be Draft Digital. I'm going to just go find it for you, Fredo. And for you, Sam-wise, let me see. Let me get this website.
Take your time. I'm pretty good about following up with relevant details. So, definitely do because we don't want to miss it, but go ahead.
It's just if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget.
Yep, me too. I'm the same way.
Yeah, it's just, and my memory's been getting crappier and crappier and stuff like this.
I'll hold down the fort while you're doing that. Hey, Earl Brownlee, welcome in on Substack.
Earl, I can remember stuff from when I was 2 years old, but I can't bloody well remember things I was supposed to do like last week.
A true savant.
I don't know about that. Okay.
Named after Marilyn Vos Savant, a real-life savant. Marilyn Vos Savant.
All right. That's interesting.
But not profitable, as are all of my skills.
All right. So try lion's mane mushrooms from Ian Barr. Helps the brain.
Try anything by Ian Barr. I will say I like Ian Barr and follow him on Instagram, where I am increasingly having much more fun than on Substack. There, I said it, okay? You writers are mean and you don't... Anyway, personal, draft digital.
Well, yeah, drafted digital. I'm not going to lie, I'll be honest, I've not had much success on Instagram, but I had thought to start doing a audiobook series or a audio series, like a radio drama or something, on Substack, Instagram, and YouTube, and where Dan and I or something would just read some of our stories and kind of basically present that and try to turn that into a decent set of videos. But my video creation skills are crap.
I love that stuff.
Well, the idea would be to do this as a series of episodes, like an episodic series. I got the idea from Isaac and from Ulysses. And
I love Ulysses. Although that game didn't work out, I have to admit I'm not much one for tabletop games. I don't know what it is, but I can't do them.
Okay, I enjoy it. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, we've got D&D fans for days everywhere. So no, I'm the outlier.
Okay. And Ian says, "Oh man, that's backward." Backlink.
Ian JR says, Substack is not more fun. No.
Yeah, it is.
Substack is where writers are. And I can say this because I am a writer. Writers are petty, mean, and they don't pay for shit. When I came on Substack, I had 10 subscriptions and I bought them all. And, I tried to practice what I preach. But, you know what? I'm going to channel some Glorilla. Fuck y'all. Okay, nice. I love you guys. Sorry I'm an artist. Sorry. But you hurt my feelings. Brothers Crin is not associated with anything that has to do with Sam Liebel.
Yeah. I think with a lot of the writers, I'll be honest, I found most of the writers on Substack to be fun. I've gotten along well with just about all of them, except for one or two. And I'll actually defend at least the fantasy sector of fiction on Substack. I found that it's been pretty wholesome. I've noticed new writers here and there who aren't.
Yeah, it's pretty much turning into Pinterest, which we all want, right? Fuck Pinterest.
Yeah, but I don't think...
not fuck Pinterest, but no, don't, let's Substack become what Substack becomes.
Yeah, but I don't think...
It's just a lot of... Look, okay, I'm sorry that I said fuck y'all, but Substack is just... I try to get a very diverse slice of Substack for science. I'm interested in these different things, and I experiment always. And it just is... It's like the fiction charts are dominated by people who don't write fiction, okay, the rising ones, and there's not any readers, and the writers are great. I'm being hyperbolic, I'm exaggerating about the writers. The writers are great. It's just that there's no audience on Substack, and so everybody's so parsimonious. They're so stingy with their subscriptions for some bizarre reason. Even though the AI of Substack will filter automatically so that you have exactly what you want, but whatever. And all this sort of stuff about, AI this, AI that. Good luck, because Substack is clearly run on AI, because their support staff is all on AI, meaning you can't get a support ticket opened. 90 days I've waited for one support ticket. Nothing from Substack. So does Substack support its authors? This author asks the question. Do they? Not me. Not me. And I'll say it one more time. All opinions are associated only with me and have nothing to do with Brothers Crin.
Well, I was going to say I think you were pretty awesome on Substack, but I've benefited from it, so I, of course, am favorable towards it.
I write, McKenna, because I've always written. I've written longer than I can remember. So I publish my diary. And it's really good, what I write. It's really good, and the world needs to hear it. America needs to hear it. America needs to hear it.
Yeah, I happen to love my roots, and the thing is on Substack,
All right.
And
After that rant, we are going to have to go. I cannot disappoint my next guest. I love all my audience. Thank you so much. Brothers Crin, have the last word, please.
I was just going to say that, but
it's really good, Ian, for what it is. It's not for everybody, but it's for like Dune fans and fans of Red Rising. Yes, you want it. And it's free. It's free, for fuck's sake. Come on. What do you tell you what, if you don't like it, you can have your money back. How about that?
The leadership board is something I don't understand, and a lot of those boards and whatnot, the problem is, fiction section is dominated by non-fiction, because people are writing political stuff and jumping into fiction, literature, and culture and whatnot, when it should not involve those things.
Okay, I do have to go, guys. I'm so sorry, Brothers Crin. I'm so sorry, but we are going to have to go. I apologize. Thank you to everyone. Thank you so much. I just want to make sure that I'm respectful of my next guest.
All right. I'll just end by saying I understand some of the frustrations. There are problems, of course, but what website doesn't have them? I mean, YouTube's way worst.
Are they?
I consider YouTube to be the worst site. The algorithm's a monster.
All right. Well, this is hopefully, if Brothers Crin will tolerate me, this is the first of many discussions, but we'll see about that. But thank you to everybody. I'm going to shut down Substack first so I can get it restarted up again. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Brothers Crin, find them right here on Substack, Brothers Crin Newsletter. You can find me by clicking on my name. AFL the Bastard is my fantasy novel. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. You're the real MVP. You know what I'm talking about? All right. We just posted it to Substack and we're done. All right. Finally. Look, I know that my relationship with Substack is unhealthy. I know I've got a chip on my shoulder. I know I'm a little bitch about it. Sorry, I know I'm a little jerk about it. But it is just a bunch of fucking writers. And I'm a writer. I don't want to hang out with writers. We suck. We're the worst. Nico, what's up, man? Guys, I got to get to my next live. You are awesome. Because on Substack, it's a bunch of fucking sweater vests. It's a bunch of fucking pleated pants. Okay? It's a bunch of fucking nerds watching videos of pointillism paintings. And a bunch of like people that are on there like, I had sex with this person and it feels strange afterwards. And you know what? Let me say this, okay? I'm a fucking poet. I live in I had sex and it feels weird. That's my home base. Okay? And I love reading that stuff too. I really do. Okay? But it gets me, I get a little bit angry when I see like, you know, because I could write those off fucking Let me tell you, you want some feeling conflicted after sex stories, I'm your guy. We like to have fun. I do, at least. You guys are the real MVPs. Read my book. It's fucking free.